practice. These take place every week on Wednesdays from 12:30 to 12:50 Mountain Standard Time. I hope you can either join that time, or I'll send out the recordings, or go ahead and just find out what that means for your time zone. My name is Britta Nelson. I'm the founder of Britta Nelson Wellness. I come from 25 years in the business world and have transitioned because of my own experience in the business world to promoting wellness and mindfulness practices with business leaders and employees across the country. So mindfulness is a topic that is quite popular out there now among business leaders. That's yoga, that's breath work, that's meditation as methods for being able to manage stress and anxiety, which is just rampant in the workforce. And so I bring this to you free every week just to support you in becoming a better, stronger employee and leader. So Amit Ray, who's an author, said conscious breathing is the best antidote to stress, anxiety, and depression. And so I, through my own experience, have really, come to see that you can have your own personal breath work where you wake up in the morning and you do it, or you do it in the evening, but also learning these techniques just in your day-to-day work life is so valuable, so that when you're in that stressful meeting, you can drop into a steady, solid breathing practice that's going to bring down stress and anxiety right there in the face of the stress. So, but one of the things that I'm going to geek out a little bit here on breathing. Many of us do not breathe correctly. If there's a right way, we are typically breathing in and worried about the lungs. But there is actually a muscle called the diaphragm, and diaphragmatic breathing is really the best way to get the best benefits to reduce stress, anxiety, depression. So our diaphragm is actually just kind of middle chest, and it's shaped a bit like a jellyfish. And when we breathe in, our goal is not into the lungs, but to expand our bellies out. So we breathe in, and you can just place your hand on your belly right now. And Buddha had the right idea. Instead of trying to keep our stomach sucked in, you breathe out, you breathe in, and try and get that belly to expand out. When you do that, that diaphragm muscle is pushing down, and that is pushing down onto your organs, which brings more blood supply and health to your organs. At the same time, it's creating a vacuum in your lungs to fill up the air. So when you expand your belly out, you want to feel your belly come out, diaphragm down, air comes into your lungs. When you breathe, that's when you breathe in. When you breathe out, that diaphragm domes up like a jellyfish, pushing into your lungs, into your heart. Also good. Anytime there's movements, it's bringing blood flow to these organs. So at that point, then the air is being expelled, diaphragm is pushing up into your heart. And so we want to rhythmically just breathe into our bellies more, instead of just focusing so hard on our chest. So you'd want to go belly, then into your lungs. So that's going to help reduce stress. And you're always, baseline, you're focusing more on your inhale, expand the belly, and then on your exhale, you want to kind of double time the speed, the length of when you're breathing out, because that engages your parasympathetic nervous system. So our bodies are always in this fluctuation between fight or flight and relax and digest. And that's the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. And our body really, actually, it's important that it's going back and forth, regulating itself between those two. If you're always in fight or flight, your body's going to be in a stress state. If you're always in parasympathetic, you're kind of a blob and you're not going to be so effective at work. So I want to talk to you about heart rate variance. Heart rate variance has been made popular by Leah Lagos, who works with high-performing athletes, CEOs, people that are in high stress situations. The Tiger Woods when they're there at the golf course. The CEO that's constantly having to make important decisions. Heart rate variance, and then Harvard Medical School has done some recent reports to basically find out that heart rate variance is a huge indicator of where we spend our time. Are we in fight or flight, or are we in rest and digest more often? And what heart rate variance is the space between each of your heartbeats. And when we breathe in, our heartbeats increase, and we are, which is great. Heartbeats increase. When we breathe out, our heart rate decreases. And we want to be able to have strong breathing so that we're fluctuating between higher heart rate and lower heart rate. So when we looked at a graph across time, we don't want our heart rate to be the same all the time. We want to see it fluctuating. The more it fluctuates means the more your body is learning how to respond to stress. Increased heart rate, that's more stress. Decreased heart rate, that's more mellow. And it wants to, in order to be in a high performing state, we've got to be able to regulate it. And so that is what measuring heart rate variance really helps you understand. If you've got a high heart rate variance, you actually are functioning really well. You're regulated. If it's low and it's really consistent that your heart rate's always the same, it actually means your body could be in more of a stressed, fatigued state. So you can read books. There's a great book by James Nestor called Breath, Leah Lagos's book, if you want to geek out on heart rate variance. But the way that we improve our heart rate variance is through diaphragmatic breathing into the belly. And it's at a rate, typically for most of us, at 4 in and 6 out. That is the proven rate of breath for most of us, even though there's variations on either side, to where we put our heart rate into a space that is going to help us in that regulation between fight or flight and rest and digest. Totally geeking out on you, but the main thing that what we're going to do is just spend some time doing a heart rate variance breath that's going to be most effective to regulate you. That's going to be into the diaphragmatic breathing, so into the belly and then out. So we breathe in through our nose, and you can either breathe out through your nose or you breathe gently with pursed lips slowly out your mouth. So it would look like a deep in and then so I want you to, before we drop into this practice, place your hands on your belly with your thumbs, your middle fingers touching. So just have them resting there on your belly at that midpoint. And then I want you to take a deep, deep breath into your belly. And your fingers should actually separate a little bit. That means you're definitely dropping into that diaphragmatic breathing. When you breathe out, either through your nose or through your mouth, lips purse like you're blowing on soup, those fingers should come back together. And we do that for a count of 4 in and 6 out. The longer our exhale, the more we are calming our body down. So we take a breath in to energize, increase our heart rate, long, steady breath out to regulate our body back into that calm state. And we can use this when we're in stressful situations. So we are going to take some time. Go ahead and put your hands onto your belly, keeping those middle fingers touching. And if you want to gently close your eyes or gaze down so that you're kind of dropping out of just this present state. If you'd like to turn off your video, you are welcome to, so that you can really drop into it. I'll have my eyes closed gently as well. So we're going to do this for about 7 minutes right now. So go ahead and close your eyes gently. Before we start, I just want you to take kind of a normal, what your normal breath in would be. And then push all of your breath out. And then breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, 2, 3, 4, fingers separating, out, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, out, 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 in. I'm going to let you breathe on your own for a little while. Just keep expanding that belly, counting. Should be at out. Have your mouth closed, you could try just gently breathing out through your mouth, like blowing on soup, or close your mouth. Just experiment with that. Stay focused on your counting. In 4, out 6. Just about a minute left. 4 in, 6 out. Relaxing your body, jaw, your forehead. Unclench any muscles. Your opening your mind for greater clarity, capability, and focus for the rest of your day today by doing this. Take 5 more of these types of breath on your own. Should be winding down. When you do, gently wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take a deep, deep breath in and a long sigh breath out. Gently open your eyes and take in the color of your room, light of your room. Open the day that's here for you. So just a reminder that this kind of breath is clinically proven through significant tests that when we breathe at a 4-6 rate, it balances our ability in our body to go between fight or flight and rest and digest. We're balancing our nervous system. So the next time that you are in a stressful situation, or program it into your day that you are going to take 10 of these heart rate variance breaths, and just to start to experience what that's like to daily do that. Even if you just do that 10 breath one time, or you might have to implement it a lot of times. Johnny Long, who's an artist, said, it can still be a good day if the only thing you did was breathe. So whatever's happening in your day today, I wish you the very best. I wish you mindfulness. This is what a mindfulness practice does. I'd love to hear your thoughts.